PFL 2022 Championship. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Main event, Kayla Harrison fights Larissa Pacheco for the third time. Every weight class championship matchup is on this card, and the winners of the championship are paid $1 million. Super excited to talk about these matchups. Haven't been doing the PFL regular season, which I think it's a mistake. So moving forward, if this video here hits 150 likes, I'm doing next season's each card full, every matchup on it. So make sure to smash that like button. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on those post notifications too. And if you really enjoy the content, share the video. And let's get into our first fight of the night. Biaggio Ali Walsh versus Tom Graesser. I'll note this right away. It's an amateur fight, and I couldn't find Ali Walsh. All I know is this is Muhammad Ali's grandson. I checked out his Instagram, seems in good shape, competing in jiu-jitsu. Graesser on the other side, I wasn't impressed by what I saw. Seems kind of like an amateuristic stand-up game. He doesn't have an official Tapology record, but I find 2 fights online that I do believe are definitely him. I'm going to say that Ali Walsh probably knocks him out here. I'm expecting halfway decent boxing at the least here for Ali Walsh. Grandson of Ali, I'm expecting he's got some hands in the family. He should stop Tom Graesser in a round or two. I'm going Ali Walsh, knockout win. Don't think it's a good idea to bet on amateur MMA. Minus 350 Ali Walsh, plus 290 Graesser. Now, if I'm looking at the props, I have to give you one again. I'm telling you, don't bet amateur martial arts. Minus 135 Ali Walsh inside distance. I do believe he wins this fight inside of the distance, but I just don't love the idea of betting on an amateur MMA fight when you really can't find anything on Ali Walsh. You know it's the grandson of Ali, and you know PFL has an amateur fight to build him. So it's all built around him. He should definitely win here, and I'll predict that he does. Let's keep running up, and let's get to the first real professional fight of the night. Dakota Ditcheva versus Catherine Corogenes. I think Dakota Ditcheva has a big stand-up advantage here. She's got quality kickboxing from distance. I really feel like she's going to be a lot quicker. She is a Muay Thai fighter and was a champion in Muay Thai, British Muay Thai, that is, exactly. So she does have a high-level stand-up game. I like her striking from distance. Her kicks are really good. I like her knees in close. I think on the other side, though, my one concern is going to be Catherine. She does have good jiu-jitsu, championship level on the mat. This is another fight where I really wouldn't suggest betting down on. I'm picking Dakota Ditcheva. I'm going to say she wins it by decision, but I'm going to be a little bit nervous if they do go to the floor. The jiu-jitsu advantage favors Catherine, in my opinion, 100%. Ditcheva's a striker who's, adapting to this MMA game. She's very marketable, 6-0. Of course, PFL is trying to build this young 24-year-old. But weird shit happens in women's MMA, especially early on in the careers. Still, pick is Ditcheva, minus 344. Catherine sitting at plus 300. I'm going Ditcheva, win. I'm going to say decision. The knockout wouldn't shock me here. But the betting is just not something I'm really interested in. I'll read off the line. Ditcheva decision, plus 205. Ditcheva inside distance, minus 135. I think Catherine Corogenes might be pretty damn tough. So I'm going to say Ditcheva by decision, but not a fight that I'm crazy about here. And it's lower level as far as, the MMA levels go. This next one, we're getting into high-level fights right here. Magomedkerimov versus Gleison Tibau. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm picking Magomedkerimov to win. Tibau, you'd think he'd be phased out years ago. At 39, he's still winning fights over in PFL. Now, I'm picking Magomedkerimov to win. I think he's got a big advantage in the technical kickboxing. I think he can touch up Tibau from the outside. Tibau proven tough. I could see him clinching up with Magomedkerimov. I do think Magomed could trip him to the floor, get on top and control from there, but I don't see a finish from him. I think it's unlikely that he would chin Tibau on the feet. Could control him on the floor a bit, but I don't think Tibau is going to get ground and pound finished. I think this fight's going the full 3. I think Magomedkerimov probably gets it on the cards here. And I mean, at 39, Tibau is still a difficult test for any of these welterweights. I mean, look at the last fight, split decision loss. He had a 2-fight win streak. Rory McDonald, I thought it was a controversial decision, but still is competing against good competition. I know Rory's now retired, but at that point, that was a Rory coming in with some hype. Magomedkerimov, to me, should have the edge. This is a guy that's been at the top of the PFL game for a while. I think he should shine in this performance here, and I'm going to pick him to win by a decision over the always tough Gleison Tibau. Minus 415, Magomedkerimov, Tibau, plus 300 range. What do we got? We got really nothing good for props. Over 2.5, I do think is likely at minus 185. It wouldn't blow my mind if Tibau did get chinned here and Magomedkerimov caught him with a big straight shot or maybe a kick from the outside and followed up with punches to knock him out. I just don't think it's all that likely. Magomedkerimov, though, money line. I do think he's going to win it. Heavy favorite, of course. Next fight on the card, Natan Schulte and Jeremy Stephens. I'm going to pick Natan Schulte to win this fight here. You know, I like Jeremy Stephens, man. He's a fan favorite style. This is ex-UFC guy who was always damn fun to watch. He's got big power, never fully performed in like the biggest of fights and against the best guys. But he was, you know, a solid, tough, hard-nosed brawler. I would call him top of the line, outside the rankings, gatekeeper type position for Stephens, but always action-packed fights. Natan Schulte is a talented fighter here. He has improved stand-up, good calf kicks, decent head movement, solid takedowns, and ability to control from the top. Stephens has struggled a lot with guys who have very good grappling. I think in this fight here, Natan Schulte needs to go towards takedown attempts, get this fight on the mat. Don't sit and bang with the Jeremy Stephens because he still has the power to knock anybody out. Note this, though. This is not Jeremy Stephens at 45. This is Jeremy Stephens at 55. And I don't feel like, for whatever reason, it's not that he doesn't have the power. He still's got sting in his hands. I just don't feel like it's going to translate great here to this matchup. Hard-fought win in the last one. Before that, he lost in a tough fight to Clay Collard. I think the style to beat a Jeremy Stephens is taking him down or at least controlling him in the clinch and then working your stand-up as he's feeling threatened by takedown attempts. I'll pick Schulte to win. I think decision will be how he gets it done, but Stephens always going to have KO power, always going to be super dangerous, and if it turns into a brawl, it's anybody's fight. I don't think it will, though. I'll go Schulte to win a decision, minus 410. Jeremy Stephens, plus 295. Natan Schulte's a strong favorite here. Schulte to win by a decision, plus 100. I wouldn't play it. But I am picking Natan Schulte to get it done on the scorecards. Sheymon Moraes versus Marlon Moraes. Rematch here. That's from 2015, their first matchup, which was like a really action-packed back and forth fight. But Marlon Moraes dominating the bout. We're rematching it here. It's men's featherweight, not 135. Ignore Tapology. It's an important note. Marlon Moraes looks pretty jacked. I'm expecting him to come filled out. I'm banking that his chin's going to be better. And I think he's going to knock Sheymon Moraes out, who I consider to be a little bit chinny. I think Marlon can find the money spot. He closes the gap pretty well with explosiveness, even in recent loss. You look at the opponents he's lost to. I mean, Song Yadong, would he not chin Sheymon Moraes too? Merab Divashvili. It's a back and forth war where he had Merab really hurt. Rob Font. Rob Font's got money straight shots. Marlon, he's struggling with that distance, and so would Sheymon Moraes. And Sandhagen, top of the line guy who beats him. And then the Aldo fight, he goes distance at the very least, wins a controversial split. I think Marlon Moraes can kind of turn, I don't want to say turn back the clock here, but beat a guy he should beat in Sheymon Moraes. Repeat performance for him, and I think Marlon Moraes can do it. Now, I don't think it's a great idea to bank on a Marlon Moraes who's been knocked out multiple times recently at plus 120. He is an underdog, and he's fighting a guy who, in my opinion, he's definitely superior to, but we're really questioning what is the durability level looking like for Marlon. I don't know for sure. I'm going to bank on 10 more pounds, giving him a little bit more durability in the chin. I think he can pull this one out. No props available here, but Sheymon Moraes, I think that he's going to get chinned and knocked out by Marlon Moraes. And I think Marlon's going to turn it back here and get a little flow going at 145 here in PFL. Plus money, plus 120. I'll go with Marlon Moraes to get the upset. Let's keep running up the card. Next matchup here brings us to the main card. If you guys haven't, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. It's Omari Akhmedov and Rob Wilkinson. Listen, I think Rob Wilkinson has a big advantage from distance striking. I'm picking him to win this fight. And I actually think he's going to knock Akhmedov out. But it's not going to be an easy matchup. Akhmedov can strike for sure. He's a very physically strong guy. Works well inside of the clinch. Has a wrestling game. He's a Dagestani fighter. Of course he has that. Wilkinson's not a great grappler. Where he shines is the stand-up department. Getting into brawls, kind of throwing caution to the wind a bit. If he makes Omari Akhmedov fight, I see Wilkinson with the knockout power to hurt Akhmedov and put him unconscious. I'm going to bank on a Wilkinson win by KO TKO. I could see it being high-paced early. Akhmedov then knocked out a bit later, second or third round knockout. But I wouldn't be shocked if Wilkinson caught him with a punch as Akhmedov is trying to close the gap and knocked him out in one round. He has real knockout power and he's willing to take shots to land shots. And I'm going to bank on a Wilkinson in a brawl. And I also don't feel like Akhmedov has enough so menacing wrestling to control a Wilkinson for 5 rounds or even pin him to the ground and get a KO TKO win. I don't think he ground and pounds him. I think Wilkinson pulls this one out, and I'm going to say it's a KO victory for him. Now, as far as odds for this one, Wilkinson is a favorite. He's around minus 230, minus 188 at best value. Omari Akhmedov plus 195. I'm going Wilkinson by knockout. So Wilkinson inside distance we have, it's minus 130. That's expected. Under 3.5 is minus 200. I do think it's under 3.5 because even if it is going longer and Akhmedov's winning, I think he gets tired towards the middle of the 3rd round. I think he'd be gassed in a 4th and 5th. He's very muscle bound. He's a shorter guy for this weight class. I guess he's not crazy short at 6 foot. He looks 5'10" though. And I feel like his stockiness that he has and just kind of known to gas previously runs him into big trouble if he's going late with Wilkinson. I'm going Wilkinson though to win by KO and get $1 million in the bank account. That'll be pretty fucking crazy for him. Next fight. Dilano Taylor and Sabito Sai. You know, Sabito Sai on paper has some strong advantages. More high-level experience, longer reach. He fights well from distance. But I'm picking Dilano Taylor for some reason here. I think the explosiveness is a factor. Proven durability is a factor. I think Sabito Sai can get hurt by punches later in the fight. I do think Sai probably wins from distance early. He's a very dangerous guy to fight from range, and he controls distance well. Doesn't have a ton of stinging power. When I match up the power, I think Dilano Taylor could deliver more of a action-packed punch, more of something that can end the night, as opposed to his opponent on the other side, who I see as a skilled technician from range, good takedown defense, and a legit threat here. I just don't think he gets it done. I think you're going to see Dilano Taylor pull this one off. I think he closes distance and lands a right hand on the southpaw, Sabito Sai. I know Taylor makes some mistakes and he kind of dips a little bit and maybe Sai finds ways to capitalize, but I don't see him as a menacing finisher. I see Dilano Taylor as a guy that can explode in moments, and I think he's going to shine here and rise to the occasion with a massive opportunity, $1 million on the line, super big fight for him. I think he closes the gap and gets the KO win. We're going Dilano Taylor to win by knockout. I'm thinking 3rd or 4th round. I do think Taylor's tested a lot in this fight, but I think he overwhelms Sabito Sai later and knocks him out. As far as the odds for this matchup, Dilano Taylor plus 155, Sabito Sai minus 160. I like the chances of Taylor knocking him out. Plus 305, plus 335, win by KO. Or excuse me, win inside distance. Dilano Taylor to get the knockout. I think he can shock the world here. I guess not. It won't be like the craziest upset of all time, but it's a strong upset. Next fight is interesting here. Lightweight championship. Stevie Ray and Oliver Aubin-Mercier. I like the consistency of OAM. I'm going to pick him to win this fight against Stevie Ray. But I like Stevie Ray's boxing skills. I like his kicks. I like his forward pressure. He has decent enough takedowns in the arsenal, but I am concerned if Oliver Aubin-Mercier starts to wrestle. I think he finds a lot of success controlling Stevie Ray a bit from the top. I do think standing up is very competitive. I feel like Ray might be a little bit better with the hands purely on the inside, but I think Mercier is better overall from distance, and I do think he has, I feel like, a little bit more of a powerful kicking arsenal. Still, I see it as a competitive fight. Tricky matchup for both guys. Southpaw versus southpaw fight. Stevie Ray, I think, has successful moments, but I think Mercier grinds this one out and gets a hard-fought decision win, 4 rounds to 1 type situation. I'll pick Mercier to beat Stevie Ray, and actually wildly wide lines that I don't think should be this crazy. Aubin-Mercier around minus 345. Stevie Ray at plus 310. That doesn't make sense to me. I know Aubin-Mercier is very good, but he's not Khabib nor Magomedov. And Stevie Ray is still a very difficult test here and a guy that I'm giving a lot of respect to. I mean, he beat Anthony Pettis back-to-back times. The guy can fight for sure. Still, Aubin-Mercier the pick. Just ugly line for him, unfortunately. You're probably not playing any prop bets here. Maybe you went Aubin-Mercier by decision, but it's plus 110. I would not do it. Yeah, OAM, just no value on him. There's more value on the dog side because, in my opinion, the odds are wrong in the fight. But I'm picking Oliver Aubin-Mercier. I do think he wins by a decision. Let's keep running up. Next matchup, ladies fight, Julia Budd and Aspen Ladd, women's featherweight. I'm picking Julia Budd. She's an underdog, too, in this fight against Aspen Ladd. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of Aspen Ladd's striking style. I don't think she has a great stand-up game. I don't think Julia Budd is the female Mike Tyson, but I think she has decent straight shots. I think she could close the distance. And when they start wrestling, I see it as competitive. I kind of think Julia Budd's going to be able to hold her own very well against Aspen Ladd. Yeah, she's the older girl by 12 years. And I know people would be like, yo, the veteran experience, but she's slowing down. Something I'll say is this. Aspen Ladd is not a super athletic, explosive, quick fighter. She kind of fights a little bit on the slower side with kind of awkward movements, and she'll close distance and control against the cage. But strength for strength, Julia Budd's the bigger girl. I'll bank on her to win a clinch-heavy decision here and beat Aspen Ladd on the scorecards. As far as the odds, Julia Budd's a big underdog, plus 190. Aspen Ladd, minus 220. I wouldn't really tell you, oh, go out and bet it heavy on either side. It's not something that I'm like crazy excited about backing either one of these two. I'm picking Julia Budd, but she's plus 190. She's like a big tag. Aspen Ladd, I wouldn't touch her at minus 220. How I'm looking at the betting side here, you go dog or pass it. I'm picking Julia Budd by a bit, though. Like, I do feel like it's a toss-up fight. Budd to win by decision, plus 275. We'll ride with Julia Budd to win here against Aspen Ladd. Next fight of the night, Ante Delija and Matheus Scheffel 2. Listen, Ante Delija is going to fight this bout a little bit smarter, I believe, than the first one out. I don't think he's going to try to bang on the feet with Scheffel, who's super dangerous. I'm picking Ante Delija. I expect him to use the wrestling sooner in this bout, and I think he'll throw Sheffield off, who wants to sit and bang. He wants to get into close range and mix it up with hard strikes. He hits with a lot of power. He's a guy that definitely has good kickboxing. He's also pretty strongly outsized by Delija, and I do think Delija's straight punch striking style, the way he boxes, is a hard matchup for Scheffel, who's at the disadvantage of the height and reach, and I also think he has a disadvantage in the grappling department. I think the better wrestler is Delija, and he can control from the top position. I think Delija's going to win again. I'm thinking KO TKO is possible, but I don't think it's as early. I think it's later in the fight. Third, fourth round KO TKO win for the side of Ante Delija is what I'm kind of feeling in this matchup here. I mean, it wouldn't shock me either if it ended up going to the distance. And I kind of feel like when you look at their first fight, yes, Delija was clearly winning. He was beating up Scheffel. Early stoppage maybe, a little bit. I think enough so. I'm going to say it was a bit of an early stoppage. So Delija either stopping him later or winning by a decision, but Delija is a confident pick. As far as the odds for this fight, it's around minus 220 for Delija. Scheffel around plus 205. I'll ride with Ante Delija to win. We'll call it KO TKO, so inside the distance, but it's minus 115. You're not playing it. Whereas Delija by decision, plus 365. There's a lot more value on that side. Ultimately, I think Delija, the money line, your best route. I'm very confident that he beats Matheus Scheffel for a second time, and especially mixing in a bit more wrestling. Heavyweight belt and $1 million on the line. Good matchup. Co-main event, the featherweight championship round. It's Brendan Loughnane versus Bubba Jenkins. I think Brendan Loughnane is clearly the better striker here. You're going to wonder, where's the wrestling going to be at? I'm picking Brendan Loughnane with a resilient grappling defense style where he's going to be able to eventually find space and hurt Bubba Jenkins. Yes, Bubba Jenkins can control and wrestle throughout the entire fight. But I think at some point as we get later, Loughnane will be sweaty. He'll find ways out of the clinch. And I think when they stand up and strike, I feel like Bubba Jenkins is very vulnerable to getting hit by combinations. I think that Brendan Loughnane will have good straight punches down the line. It wouldn't shock me if he kicked Bubba Jenkins in the face. I think that you're going to see a big striking level that favors favors the side of Brendan Loughnane. Now, Bubba Jenkins, he's going to be shooting, trying to clinch for the vast majority. I don't think he wants to sit and trade with Loughnane. I do think Jenkins will have some success with the wrestling, but Loughnane finds his way out of those positions. Striking, he'll have a big edge, maybe a straight shot down on the southpaw, right hand down the line, maybe stuns the side of Bubba Jenkins, and then I could see Brendan Loughnane following up with big shots and TKOing him. So I like Loughnane to win. I'm thinking third or fourth round knockout. Both guys were last year's semifinalists, so you know they're burning for hope for that $1 million. Huge opportunity here for both of these vets. Loughnane, the odds for him, he's around minus 149, and then Bubba Jenkins around plus 155. Let's see here. Loughnane inside of the distance, plus 250. I do think he wins inside of the distance, and it's probably a knockout win, and I do think it's going to be a pretty damn good fight. I'm excited for this matchup. Main event of the evening, Kayla Harrison and Larissa Pacheco 3. Yes, this is the third time these girls have fought. And every time, Larissa Pacheco is absolutely game, but gets beaten, and she's going to get beaten again in control. The grappling difference is real. Now, Pacheco's got real dangerous knockout power. If Kayla Harrison somehow makes a mistake striking, I could see Pacheco hitting her with big shots. And it's not impossible for some crazy knockout, but how likely is it? I'd say less than 5% that she does it. I think Kayla's going to fight smart. I think she's going to close the distance with a bit of striking, but looking to grapple. I think when she looks for takedowns, she'll succeed, get on top of Pacheco, control from there, have some success with a bit of ground and pound, but nothing too crazy. And I think Kayla Harrison win over the 5 rounds is pretty realistic here. Now, if she does go out there and submit a Larissa Pacheco, I think that would be crazy for her stock. She's in an interesting position because she's destroying everybody in PFL. Pacheco and her are now fighting for three times. And Kayla Harrison beats her clean every time, but this is the one girl that can survive. You know Kayla Harrison's hoping she gets that stoppage this time out, but I think intelligent fighting style is the best way to beat a Pacheco. Don't go crazy and try to brawl with her because she has real knockout power, and if she finds the chin of any female, especially at 155 pounds, she can do some serious damage. Though I think Kayla Harrison fights smart and gets a win, which is not the hype thing, you know, because the odds are disgustingly wide, minus 580. Pacheco at plus 480. I wish I was telling you guys, yo, it's going to be Pacheco to upset her, but I'm just not going to bullshit you, man. I think that Kayla Harrison wins again. If Pacheco were to win inside distance, plus 525, maybe that knockout prop will be juicy when it drops. Maybe you could like lightly touch that if you wanted to just throw it on, in my opinion, a true Hail Mary shot. Not very likely it happens. Kayla Harrison probably winning a decision. It's plus 250. Maybe you're considering betting Kayla Harrison by a decision. Inside distance for her to win is sitting at minus 150. So the books are expecting her to finish Pacheco this time out, whereas I'm thinking Pacheco can still survive and go long. I think Pacheco's made improvements as much as Kayla's made improvements, but Kayla is still the more superior fighter, and the grappling edge is just going to be too much of, you know, a hole to close. The gap can't be shut, I don't think. And I think Kayla Harrison wins again. So those are the PFL predictions. I'm doing a PFL fight companion, so make sure you guys tune into the channel for that. And then next week, we're back with UFC as always. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you smash the hell out of the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Make sure you guys run over to MyBookie and use promo code EXPERTS. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the picks, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everyone.